weekend, we do have some fights. We've got the Fight Night, Dariush versus Tsarukyan. There's a couple of interesting fights. Interesting for the fact of the way that the styles are, but also interesting for the fact that there are a couple on the main card that make zero sense.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, okay. Some from the undercard. I mean, we were talking about it. Misha Tate on the undercard. Yeah, she's fallen down a little bit lately.
Yeah, shame. She's still ranked as number 12. Yeah, I don't know how that happened because she's still got the star factor as well. So it's very surprising, especially with the last two fights on the main card.
But also, if you look at someone like Nate Diaz was so win, lose, win, lose, 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 win. You know, like he had such an up and down record. Was unranked for the longest time, but always would be like up at the top. You know, of the card. But hey, Misha, unlucky. Sorry. We do, however, have Punahele Soriano versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Punah's Koning in this one possibly. 9-3 for Punah, and I'm gonna call him Punah at middleweight. And Dustin Stoltzfus, 14-5. Punah had I think he beat Dolce. That's what I know him for.
Yeah.
Beat champion Dolce previously. Stoltzfus is 1-5 in his last 6, and he lost to Abus, and we know what Abus has been doing.
Yeah,
the last little while. So yeah, what are you making of the fight? This is the one of the fights that I'm wondering how it made it to the main card.
Yeah.
The other one I'll get to in a second, but yeah, how did they make? I mean, they've got a combined 2 wins in their last 9.
Yes, for sure. I don't know how. I don't know how. The only thing that makes sense is like both of them do lack a lot of defense, so maybe it's just going to be like a bit of a touch and go fight, but lots of scrambles and stuff. I do think Punah has a lot of power, so like there's that factor, but all in all, a big mixed bag for them both.
Punah's got hard punches, and he's also got 3 knockouts his UFC career. 6 wins by KO total of his 9. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. I know that they probably want to stay standing, especially old Punah.
Yeah.
But because most of his losses have come to grapplers. So yeah, I'm hoping it's a bit of a banger to open up this card. I mean, they do have bad records the last while, but they realistically have nothing to lose. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing.
If you go play it safe, you go and have a boring win or a boring loss on either side, you may as well just go stand and bang and guard on your shield and give everyone an entertaining fight.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because Punah's been here for a while, so it's like I wouldn't be surprised if maybe his contract's ending and it's a case of like just balls to the walls. It's one of your like. I can't imagine that both of them are going to get, or either of them are going to have their contracts renewed. So it's like...
barring some crazy, entertaining thing where people are like, we love to see what you can do in the next fight. So yeah. I'm going to go with Punah. Punah is scoring in this one. I'm going to go by KO, I think round 2.
Okay, nice. I'm also going Punah. I'm going round 3.
Round 3?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's just going to punch too hard, I feel.
Yeah.
This is the next fight. Clay Guida, 38-23.
Yeah.
Insane. I knew you had a lot of fights, but I didn't realize it was that many. Versus Joaquim Silva. This is 12-4. This is at lightweight. Guida 4-6 in his last 10.
Yeah.
Silva 2-4 in his last 6. With a notable victory, which actually before he was 10-0. Notable victory recently also against Gordon, which was quite surprising. Close-ish against Arman Tsarukyan. That's because Arman was trying to play the same game as him.
Yeah.
Trying to beat him in his own game, but eventually got outclassed. 7 wins via KO for Silva. Guida, it's just so many wins, so many losses, but always entertaining, always energetic, very, very hard to finish.
Yeah, he's so active. I was looking at that record. He's not old either. He's like 34 or something.
Yeah, he's old in the game though. That's a problem. He's been there for, but you can go watch UFCs from like. Is that really only 34?
Yeah.
I was going to say from like 15 years ago, but maybe that's stretching it a little bit because that would make him 19. But yeah, dude. OG of the game, I guess.
Yeah.
What are you saying for this one? What do you think?
I'm going to go Silva just because that fight against Tsarukyan, I hear what you're saying. But that was, I don't know, that was still relatively impressive. And he has been really good. He's been consistently, maybe not at a level to compete in like the top 5 just yet, but enough to I'd say get this win.
Method?
I'd say I'm gonna say TKO.
Okay.
Second round.
I'm also going. I'm also going with Joaquim the Dream. I'm gonna go decision. I don't know if I should go split decision or if I should go unanimous.
Yeah.
Just because Clay Guida, the thing with Clay Guida is like he's so tough to put away.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to probably submit him. I mean, in his recent losses, most of them have been decision.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a knee bar loss. I didn't check past so many fights. I didn't check past, but I know like historically he's always been tough to finish.
Yeah.
He's still a good fighter. Like he's solid at everything.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's just his will, his cardio, or what it is, or like maybe there's just a step too high for him to go. But yeah, I think Joaquim's like still, I mean, we're going to remember he's 12-4 and he's lost to tough people.
Yeah.
And he does have a win over Jared Gordon as well, which he was super impressive in. So yeah, I'm going to go split this. I don't want to go. I'll go unanimous decision.
Okay.
I was going to lean towards a split decision because the judging these days is so whack. They could have, 100 punches to 5 and they go like, oh, against Clay Guida and go, oh, Clay Guida should win that one.
Yeah.
Some judge. So
yeah, I can imagine it being quite close, well, relatively close, because Guida, like you say, he's still like he's active and he's still really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we both got Silva on that one. Then we've got a welterweight part. This one is beginning to become tough to call. I actually still haven't made I've got a winner here, but I haven't. Like I could still change it while I'm talking. Sean Brady 15-1 versus Kelvin Gastelum 17-8 at welterweight.
Yeah.
Both these guys have had a bit of a stop-start. I mean, they haven't really been able to reach their full potential, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
There were some people saying that Brady was like possibly going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, huge hype train last year.
Yeah, huge hype train. And then it did get derailed. But yeah, Beneil, your favorite. My decision.
I'm gonna take you outside.
Derailed the hype train. So yeah, it's 15-1, 5-1 in the UFC. Gastelum, I'm not even gonna tell you what his last 5-6 fights were, because with Gastelum we know every time form goes out the window. It doesn't matter what has happened to him. Like he could have the worst showing and then almost beat Izzy for the middleweight title, and then have issues fighting someone else and knock out Bisping. You know what I mean? So form goes out the window. I don't know what his last couple of fights were, but yeah, always up and down between 170 and 185. More recently, not really had much luck at 185, so back to 170, I guess.
Yeah. So before I speak about this card, it's also really I'm super excited for this main card, because from this fight up, it's only people with numbers next to their names. Yeah. And for this fight to be at the 4th from the top is also really cool.
Yeah, I'm a little bit, do
you think it should be 3rd?
No, because I think Figueroa font's probably like close to possibly a title eliminator.
Yeah.
If Figueredo wins, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Maybe I would actually have put Bobby Green lower, to be honest with you, and put this second.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I don't know why that's
so high, even against Dan Hooker. I don't understand why that's so high, because
Americans.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. They see Bobby Green maybe having some momentum, being entertaining the way he talks. So anyways, we'll get to those.
Yeah.
So Brady had some good wins over Chiesa and Matthews.
Yeah.
And then that's when the hype train really, even though for me Chiesa's not a welterweight, he's a lightweight, like honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Gastelum for sure is the better fighter overall. And I think if he follows Belal's blueprint to beat Brady, he should be able to beat Brady. But that being said, Gastelum has had some issues with grapplers more recently.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one to call. It's a really, really tough one to call. I think, I'll just say this, if Brady is at his best, he beats Gastelum.
Yeah, I think that if Brady's at his best, he can go to the title for sure.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, because after Colby and Leon, Kamara's out of the picture. He's in the middleweight division. Hamzat's out of the picture. So possibly, yeah.
Yeah, but Belal, I don't know.
Belal's waiting for his title shot.
Yeah. He's waiting in the wings.
You. What do you think? Who's winning this one?
I think Sean. I have Sean Brady.
You got Brady?
Yeah, because he's still like his run before the Bilal loss was really I did believe that hype train. I think that he's really big for the weight class as well, and really good grappler and wrestler. So I don't know. I think it hasn't been that long. Because it was like a year and like a month, right, since the last loss. Yeah,
it's about a year and a bit.
Yeah, and I don't think ring rust is going to be that big a factor. So I don't know. It really does depend how he took that loss, but I'm leaning more Brady. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could be 100% right, and that's why I say if he's at his best, then the ring rust isn't there, and the time off doesn't affect him for sure.
Yeah.
I just think it's too long to be out. I think he was so active before that, or not super active, but he was a lot more active before that.
Yeah.
And I think the loss is hung over his head. Plus the fact that Gastelum probably wants to prove something.
He has something to prove as well, for sure. I mean, that fight he just won against Curtis. And like that was, you could see he's got a fire under him for sure.
Especially now also, we're looking at this, we're talking about Brady, if he wins getting a title shot. If Gastelum wins, he possibly gets a title shot too.
Yeah.
It's fairly thin from like, now with those two gone, with Usman and Hamza gone, it's pretty thinly spread. So
sure.
They could want to chuck Gastelum in the mix again, and he's always dangerous too. That power in his left hand is insane. So I'm thinking he follows a similar blueprint possibly to Bilal. He's also big. He should be big for the weight class because he's come from 85.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go, actually Gastelum. Gastelum's got one way to win, bro. It's a KO. So if I go Gastelum, I got to go all in on this. So Gastelum by KO. Got to go with that.
I can see why you would say that. That's fair. I'm going to stick with Brady.
Yeah, no, fair enough. We don't have to be the same. We don't have to pick the same. Then number 3, we got Rob Font, 20-7, coming off a loss to Corey Sandhagen. This is at bantamweight. Then Deiveson Figueredo, who's now had his 4 fights with Moreno previously. But mind you, Font is 1-4 in his last 5 as well. We just got to note that. But I mean, it was people like Jose Aldo, Corey Sandhagen. It's the best of the best.
Yes, for sure.
And Figueredo is 21-3-1, and then making his 135-pound debut. What do you think of this fight?
I have Figueredo. I think that so in the time that he lost to Moreno, it's actually been a while. I think that he was planning to move up anyway. Like in that last fight with him, that was kind of the what they were talking about. It was like he was going to move up. So I think he's just, in this time that he wasn't active, I think that he must have just been putting on the muscle that he needed and doing like that very clean. So I think he's going to come into this very prepared, especially since he knows like he's not going to get another title shot at flyweight. Or he thought he wouldn't. He might. I mean, but I don't think he's going to make his way down anymore.
Well, look, if he's made the adjustments and put on the muscle, then I don't think there's a point going back down to 25.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing with him is those losses against Moreno have really come down to like a heavyweight cut anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was quite big in any event.
Yeah.
What this fight's going to get down to, because remember, Font is going to be, so Figueredo is going to be big, but not big in his frame. So he's going to be big sort of muscle-wise, but not that much reach. So it's all going to come down to whether he can get on the inside or not.
Yes, for sure.
And yeah, I mean, Font is like stupidly durable. He's only been finished once in his career.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's so tough because like I think if Figueredo wins this, he could be in line for a title shot. Although we don't know what's happening with Sandhagen. Maybe they'll make a Sandhagen fight, but it's so tough to call, because I originally thought like, no, Figueredo's too old because he's 35 and like he's really, really old, and it's gonna be a long night. But Font's 36.
Yeah. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
So I originally had Font by decision, but I think I'm gonna go Figueredo by decision. I think I'm going to go Figueredo by decision. I think he gets on the inside. I think he does what he needs to do. And Font, I mean, dude, Font loses to the top guys. I also don't. Hang on a second. I don't like to pick people who go up a weight class straight away.
Yeah, very rarely works out.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. But I think I'll go with Figueredo. I think I think a proper contender at a lower weight class should outclass top, like towards the middle to the end of the top 10, top 15 of a class above. So yeah, I think I'll go Figueredo by decision.
Okay, I'm gonna go Figueredo. I think he's gonna be hunting for the KO. Like from the bell, he's just gonna be out there trying to like close that distance. I think I'm gonna say second round TKO.
Oh, it's gonna be tough, eh?
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough. But listen, if he does it, dude,
yeah,
it's gonna be very, very tough. Okay, now this fight, I don't know how it's so high up. I don't know what the hype is behind Bobby Green. But we got Bobby Green versus Jalin Turner now. Dan Hooker got injured. Jalin Turner's on like how many weeks' notice? 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to make the weight. So I just want to say this is at lightweight, but I foresee this possibly being at welterweight.
Or cancelled, honestly.
You can't. I don't think they'll cancel it, because you got to, or they'll have to find a last minute replacement. So find someone else. But Jalin Turner struggles to make weight at the best of times.
Yes.
I mean, he's missed weight. I think he missed the last 2 fights, but definitely against Dan Hooker, it was like 158.5 pounds. Something.
Yeah.
How's he going to make weight like this on 2 weeks' notice?
Yeah.
There's no way.
I don't know why he's still fighting at lightweight, though. Have you seen him in his weight cut?
We said he's probably going to go to welterweight because he just struggles to make the weight, but don't know, trying to weight bully. I mean, he was looking good, dude, when he first started. I mean, he got 5 wins in a row. He's looking good. But then, in his defense, like even his Dan Hooker loss, he was the better fighter, I feel. He just did stupid things, and Dan Hooker, and he didn't push the action enough, and Dan Hooker could have lost that fight very easily.
Yeah, I think that came from him coming off a loss as well. Yeah, but now he's coming off 2.
Now he's coming off 2, taking his fight on short notice, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. Like, to be honest, I don't think it's a smart fight for him to pick up, because if he wins, like, it's Bobby Green, and that's 12 versus 13. I don't think it really does that much for him. If he loses, then and I think that there's a very real possibility that he loses this. Yeah.
Look, I think he's got more to lose in this fight, but if he wins and he wins convincingly on short notice, it's always a good thing. There's never anything bad coming from that. But I mean, Bobby Green's been in some good form. I mean, he's beaten Tony Ferguson, which is a big name, but for me, I wasn't that impressed. It was Tony Ferguson. It's 2023 Tony Ferguson. So I don't know. Look,
but he also beat Dawson. I didn't think that was going to happen. That was very impressive.
Yeah, he fought like a month ago, dude.
Yeah,
Bobby Green.
Yeah.
So that's another reason. Like, why is he fighting again? Like 6 weeks later. But anyway, look, the biggest thing with Turner is always going to be his size and his weight. I mean, that's his biggest asset, his biggest strength.
Yeah,
he's so tall. And Dan Hooker's tall, and he was had taller, more range than him. Don't know. I'm not a fan of Bobby Green. I don't know why. He's a slick boxer. He's added in good ground game. And we just mustn't forget he's also 37 though. So that's also in the back of my mind. People age differently, but he is 37. I think if Jalin Turner had a full camp, he'd probably win this, in my opinion. I don't know. Unless you think Jalin Turner is going to win this.
I don't.
You don't? You got Bobby Green?
I got Bobby Green.
got Bobby Green. Yeah. How you got Bobby Green winning?
I have him as decision, honestly. I don't think he's going to be able to close the distance enough times to put him away, but I think he can outpoint him.
I also think so. Possibly 29, 28 is going to have some issues in that first round, but I also got him by decision. I don't think Turner can win this. Especially if he misses weight. If he makes weight, it's a bad thing because that weight cut's going to be drastic, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to have to really, he's going to be sucking some deep ones when he goes. So, yeah. Okay, so we both got decision.
Yeah.
We're exactly the same there. Now we get to the main event. One of your other favorites, Beneil Dariush, 22-5-1 versus Arman Tsarukyan, one of my favorites, 20-3. Well, actually, we both like Arman.
Yeah.
At lightweight. Beneil 8-1 in his last 9. Arman 7-1 in his last 8. Only lost to Gamrot, which was somewhat controversial. And Beneil obviously now lost to Charles. Fairly convincingly.
Yeah.
Had a good run before that, 8 wins. What are you saying here?
Okay.
What do you think of the fight first? Don't tell me who you got winning.
Yes.
Let's break it down first.
Okay, I think that Dariush is really awkward, and for him to have been broken down that systematically by Charles, I do think is maybe a little bit lucky in terms of how his ground game was seen as really, really good, and then his back just got taken, and he he tapped quite quickly. I don't think Tsarukyan can do the same thing that Oliveira did. I mean, Oliveira is a special case, especially when it comes to grappling. And Tsarukyan's just so good. He's so... Yeah, I think that fight against Gamrot, that split decision, I think that he did win. And even the fight with Islam, I think that he's given Islam the most trouble. Yeah. So it's... I don't know. It was a tough one to call.
I think that the thing with Tsarukyan, like I think I mentioned it before, is he's basically got no weaknesses, Arman, right? And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing because like I said with the Silva fight, he tried to beat him at his own game. Yeah. And if he tries to beat Beneil at his own game, he might struggle. Yeah. Because Beneil's a lot more slick than he is on the ground. Like when we're talking about submissions now, positions and stuff, possibly, he's got great grappling. I mean, like what he gave Islam a huge run for his money. I mean, that was besides his, I mean, it was his toughest fight, tougher than his loss. Yeah. Islam said. So, I mean, it's going to depend on what type of game plan Arman's got. I think he has all the tools to beat Beneil kind of wherever he wants to. But I think if they get into a bit of more of a ground battle, he needs to be really careful because Beneil is slick, like super, super slick. Yeah. I think either way, because it's number 4 in Beneil, number 8 in Arman, I think they line themselves up for title contention after this, whoever it is. Yeah. The lightweight title picture is far from clear. We don't know what's happening with Gaethje. We don't know what the point of the BMF belt is going to be now in this. Is he going to have to defend it as again a novelty? Yeah. Are they going to make it? Who knows? I think he should fight for title next, to be honest with you. And then if it's Arman or Beneil winning here, fight for the title next after that possibly. Yeah. I don't know where that leaves Charles, because Charles was the rightful number one contender, but
he can fight Islam in 2030 when the next fight comes out.
Yeah, when Islam's next one comes out. Yeah. In Riyadh season. Yeah. Listen, I mean, the only thing for me now is like Beneil was on a great run, but he's 35 now, dude. And Arman's like entering his peak and he's 10 years younger. Yeah. So I have gone for Arman to win by TKO round 2 or 3. I'm thinking round 2. I think if he does it, he wears him down in round 1 and then he gets the job done. Possibly Beneil can survive in round 2. But I think he gets it done in round 3. I think it's just too much pressure, too much athleticism, younger guy. Great everywhere. I'm a big fan of Arman Tsarukyan. Like I think Arman Tsarukyan is the next. He's like definitely for me a future lightweight champion. Yeah. Provided Islam, I mean, if Islam stays, he's got the tools to beat Islam.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you saying for this one?
So I really had Beneil. I had Beneil up until I was thinking about how he would win. I was thinking maybe like split decision because I don't think he's going to be able to put Arman away. And I can't see Beneil outpointing Tsarukyan. And I can't see Tsarukyan putting Beneil out. Yeah. Or submitting him, honestly. So I'm going to say decision for Tsarukyan.
Okay. So in the event that I think we've got which one have we got different there?
We've got Sean Brady versus Gastelum.
Yeah, so in the event that gets cancelled somehow, we'll go down to, we've got the same choices as everywhere else, we'll go down to method. Yeah. That will be, again, the deciding one. Or barring a draw as well over there. That will be the deciding one. So, okay, it's going to be interesting. We should have a winner next week.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip, I've got another one for you over here and over here. Please don't forget to subscribe over here and have a look at my other socials down in the description box below. Thanks for watching.